Hello, hello. Ooh. Peace and blessings, everybody that's in the chat. Peace, holla on some Joe Biden. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel, share the channel. Peace, Umoja. Wait, what? Oh. Fly Guy, what's going on? If you ain't joined the BAIO social network, you ain't black. Okay, holla. That's funny. Yeah, I got you. Well, it's been about 10 minutes or so let's get started. Beyond or impossible? Beyond or impossible pussy. So this really came about within the circle of the BAIO, and we just decided, why not talk about the special that Dave Chapelle did not very recently. And we had to book it and we just had to get started. Peace, Lady Sarah. And so here we are. Peace, Compton. So here we are. But my thoughts on the special. First off, hilarious. I mean, Dave Chappelle is just, a genius at what he does. And I don't know, Fly Guy. Like I'm trying to figure out the same thing too. Like basically, well, we'll get into it, but I just want to say the special itself was just hilarious. Like the way he pieced it together and just used metaphors or daggone just comedy. It was just an original masterpiece, and I'm glad I watched it last night too. Like I'm glad. What's going on, you Moja?
Hey, what's up, bro? I
Peace.
hope everybody can hear me okay. I'm like way out at some little like lake house with my family, so I don't know how good the service is.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope. hear me okay? I'm like, y'all can hear me when I talk. At some little like lake house with my family.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Services. Mm-hmm.
But oh, Holla, what's going on?
Yo,
We are just pretty much giving our thoughts on the Dave Chappelle special, the closer, before we jump right into it.
I thought the thing in itself was, fairly typical Dave Chappelle, hilarious, genius comedian,
Mm-hmm.
like it was just more the same. I was, personally, I could have dealt with it. I could have dealt with him not like letting this be, and I'm thinking artistically he named it the closer because he did say when he started, he was like, "This is the last time I'm gonna talk about you, motherfuckers." You know what I'm saying? He like made that a point. Like, I'm not gonna keep on messing with y'all and everything else. So obviously he did that on purpose. Selfishly, I wish he was like on some more just like all around talking about everything and not having to focus on this. But that's what he wanted to do. He wasn't thinking about Umoja and what Umoja wanted him to do.
Yeah,
So he did what he wanted to do, and I thought he did it well personally.
yeah.
That's my thoughts on the actual um, stand up.
Holla.
yeah, I agree. Like from a stand-up comedian perspective, he's like this generation's Richard Pryor.
Mm,
And Richard Pryor actually passed the torch to him before he passed.
mm,
And it makes sense because like he comes from that same spirit.
yeah,
And but just on a technical level, like people that like stand-up and like the art of stand-up,
yeah,
he's really, really like high level when it comes to putting together like bits and routines and just commanding an audience and a stage. I mean, did y'all ever see the BET thing where he was doing some type of like he was reading off the prompter with what's his name? DL Hughley?
yes. Oh my gosh.
That is like not many people can do that. Not many people can do that. Like that guy is he even said that he feels more comfortable in crowds because he's always been around them like since he was a young teen doing stand up. He just feels comfortable in crowds and you can tell
Yeah,
because I haven't seen anybody that's a public speaker like him.
yeah,
So just on a technical level, even if you don't like him or his style of comedy, which is crazy to me if you don't, but if you don't like it, you got to respect the technique basically.
all right. Well, let's jump right into it. Um, Dave Chappelle talked about a lot of things. Um, and what was funny too was after I finished watching the special, uh a friend of mine that I know had like showed me a CNN interview. Well, not a yeah, with Don Lemon and a activist that's from the LGBTQ community, and then Flame Manon, I forgot, but that's a trans comedian. And I could just see from the clips like how they immediately took, stuff out from that special. Like when he had used the word turf, and then they skipped it to the part where he said, I'm part of the turf. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like they missed the whole, segment of what he was explaining in between that. And it was just so funny how they just picked and choose. And I saw the special, but
I noticed another thing that they didn't focus on, how they didn't focus on the fact that the trans woman that he was friends with killed herself after she was being bullied on Twitter by other people of the LGBTQ community.
right,
They just
right,
left that alone,
right,
and some of them even tried to blame him.
right. And Flame during that interview was really sticking with Dave Chappelle. Like it wasn't his fault that she killed herself. You know, he provided her the platform to do comedy and stand up. You know, when for the opening act, and it wasn't the community that put her onto it. He did. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Like, you know, they didn't give her the opportunity. It was Dave Chappelle, you know, and the fact that they want to direct the blame onto him, you know, it just sucks. But we got
But anybody that's intelligent can listen to that and get, because he told you where he was coming from. And if you're just an intelligent, aware person and you have the ability to listen, you'll see where he's coming from.
right.
Like one of the jokes that he said in there just embodied the special. He said, you know, I've been fighting with white people all of my life. You know, like, so I'm like on, you know, I get them up and I corner them. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. And they'd be like, word. They'd be like, word. All right, nigga. All right, nigga. I'm a girl now. Call me a girl, nigga. that embodies the whole special. It's like they use this shit to try to hide their bullshit. They think that just because you change the fucking name, that now you a different type of person. You still the same fucking racist piece of shit that you were before. Now you just wearing a dress.
Right.
And I'm gonna treat you like that. I'm not gonna let you control the narrative because now all of a sudden you want to hide behind your dress and I can't talk about you. Because there was one lady I saw who said, we shouldn't joke about the trans community. I'm like, what? Oh, that should be hands off. Really? Really? That should be hands off. So in other words, who else gets to make that decision? Who else gets? Can we make that? Can we? Oh, you can't touch black people. You're not supposed to joke about black people.
Right. Flip the script.
Because we're an oppressed minority group.
Right.
So you can't joke about us. And if you joke about us, we're gonna cancel you.
We got Ronan said, so woke ass Don Lemon skipped over the part where the white LGBTQ mafia bullied that woman to the point where she committed suicide. How predictably convenient. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know this is something that I found out during the special because y'all know I'm out of the loop with mainstream media and all of that shit.
Yeah.
So the lady, what's her name? J.K. Rowling,
Yeah.
who's the author of the Harry Potter thing.
Harry Potter books. Yeah.
I had no idea that she was supposedly, well, first of all, they can't this whole cancel cult bullshit is bullshit anyway. But I'll indulge them in. And they supposedly canceled J.K. Rowling because she made a statement saying that gender is a fact.
Right. I remember that part.
That's why she got canceled. When I heard that, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Because Dave Chappelle said every person in this world came through the womb of a woman. What about that is controversial? When that becomes controversial, we are living in a fucking bizarro world.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how crazy shit is.
Yep.
And then in terms of Jay Chappelle, I've also heard some other stupid shit coming from black folks. Here's this one. Tell me what y'all think about this.
Okay.
We shouldn't listen to anything Dave Chappelle says because he's involved in an interracial relationship.
Well, oh my gosh. Here we go again. Matter of fact, we talked about this Sunday too, kind of. Oh, not Sunday. I think it was like a few days ago.
But I'm so happy that these people are not in charge. That's why I don't take it too seriously, because I always say, like, when I hear people talking like that, I'm like, thank God that you're not in charge.
Right.
That's all I'll say. I'm just thanking the creator that you are not in charge.
Right.
because only somebody that's myopic and one dimensional would try saying some stupid shit like that. Because what they fail to realize is that I don't think they understand how the term ally works.
Mm,
You can be my ally, it don't mean we fucking.
right.
It don't mean I'm marrying you. It don't mean I'm even inviting you over for dinner.
Yeah.
It just means that on this particular issue we agree. That's all it means.
Yeah.
So if you as a black person say that you're for black folks having a land of their own, creating and developing infrastructure and having a nation of their own, and there's a white person that says, you know what? I agree with that. Man, fuck you, devil. I want to hear what you got to say. That's gonna be your your reaction when somebody actually fucking agrees with you. And just because they agree with you, does that mean that, oh, now we've accepted them into the fold? Now you're a brother. No.
Right.
Take the win. Take the W.
Take the W.
Somebody on the opposite side says, yeah, black folks should have a land of their own. And you're going to go against that. Like I said, it's just stupid. I had that series a while ago I did on Facebook called Are You Uncompromising or a Dumbass?
Yeah.
And I created some scenarios. And one of the scenarios was if you go to jail and you're in trial but you're anti-LGBTQ or anti-homosexual, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the guy who can give testimony to prove your innocence is a flaming homosexual. I'm talking RuPaul on RuPaul Squared.
RuPaul Squared. You need to stop.
RuPaul Squared. Twisting his neck, all of the stereotypes that you think of when it comes to
RuPaul's
gay
Drag
people.
Race. RuPaul's Drag Race.
All of that.
Yeah.
He can give testimony to set you free. Are you gonna, on principle, tell the judge to throw his testimony out of the thing because you're against homosexuality? Or are you gonna let him testify so your ass can be free?
I'm gonna let him testify.
Which one is it?
I'm gonna let him testify.
But
so
these idiots would go, nah, son, nah, I can't have no gay dude up there talking for me, son. Give me them joints.
Give me them joints.
Give me them joints. All right, nigga. Life.
So
life.
Remember, I know we probably gonna get demonetized with this. Well, we ain't getting no comment anyway. But
no.
but here's the thing I'm gonna say. He says they're anti-LGBT out of jail, but in jail they gonna make them LGBT.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! He went there. He went there.
I said it was gonna get demonetized. Hey, remember? Hey, y'all, remember when?
Say goodbye to 800 subscribers.
hey, remember when Little Bootsy did it with Derek Chauvin? He was like, some calls would have been made, and people were like the booty bandits, the rectum rangers, the tushy tears.
Gosh, man.
All of that.
Fly guy said, why do you think guys think some black people harp on interracial relationships so much? I personally don't care, but this seems to be a trigger to people for some reason.
Ooh,
let me address just a little bit of what we've been talking about, y'all.
All right.
So
remind me to go back to that because I really want to answer.
We can go there now. We can go there now because I'm about to slide right into it. And it's the issue that I have with the entire thing. Like personally, you know how nowadays we got all these intersectionalities and call me B and they and all this shit. I'm like, I don't care who y'all are, as long as you are black, I have your back. It's as simple as that with me. Now, if you are black, except the first thing you want to talk about is your gender if you're black and the first thing you want to talk about is that, oh, I'm a felon. If you black and the only thing you want to talk about is your individuality in that blackness, and you're not thinking about the whole, then you need to get with those people who are thinking like that, and that's fine. However, don't come to a place where we're saying we're for all black people and we want to help build a nation for all black people, and you just want to talk about your individuality. That's not what we do. And what these people do is they harp on these things because they're more popular. They get more views. That's why they want to talk about interracial relationships, because people get all excited and passionate and want to talk about that. And what we do is ignore our collective problems. What we do is ignore the
Mm-hmm.
problems that take actual work to figure out. What
Mm-hmm.
we do is try to ignore anything that will take. It takes nothing. It takes no organization to literally have a whole town hall meeting about interracial relationships. You will have 1,000 people there. It takes no organization to get everybody to get together and get their panties and underwear and bras and socks wrapped up in a bunch about some gay issue. It takes it takes no intellectual nothing. It is really easy to get the public and the people excited about these issues. But what we continue to do is ignore our real issue. We ignore the issues that we need to solve. We ignore making effective change. Back to that. That's why we want to talk about everything around everything, all social issues, except what we gonna do about the future of our people. You
True.
ask that question, and literally people will go to, well, what about the gay people? What about these interracial relationships? I don't want them in it. It's like, what are you talking about? Let's get something. Let's get some power of our own. Then
Yeah.
we could talk about whatever you want to when we're in control. We want to talk about everything that we have no control over. Who
You know
people
what's
fucking.
you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that? People like, well, what we gonna do about these inner? Let's be. There's no such thing as purity. Okay, let's be real. Like that's the thing. Like too many of these people have an idealistic perspective and not a pragmatic, realistic perspective. The
Mm.
reality of it is there are going to be white people, there's going to be Asian people, there's going to be Arab people in the nation. They're going to be moving there to do business or to work at university. It's called being pragmatic. And that's the thing that distinguishes us from these other organizations. We're not idealistic. We're not unrealistic. We're realistic. We're like, listen, like Holub said, if a white person wants to move here and they're willing to defend the interest of our country, why would I oppose them? That doesn't make any sense. They literally agree, yeah, we believe in your country and we wanna help you out or we wanna support you. And you're gonna focus on their identity rather than the interest and what you need. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the only thing like that we require, you got to bring something to the table. Because first of all, we building a nation for descendants of the transatlantic slave trade and diaspora Africans who don't have a home that they can call their own. So if you're going to come into our nation, you better be bringing something to the table that's helping us as a people. This ain't the fucking
No,
Bahamas for white people.
no, Hollip, no, Hollip. I want to talk about polygamy. Can I have 17 wives, nigga? That's what I
Oh
want to
yeah,
talk
all
about.
that bullshit. Oh wait, let me
That's
address
what I
that
want to talk
question.
about.
That question that he asked.
All
Is
right.
that the one that's on the screen?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. The reason why, and I'm so happy he asked that because now I can get into it.
He's so childish.
The reason why they care so much about this shit is simple. They have low self-esteem and insecurity. The reason why
Oh
Yamoja
wow.
can talk the way he does is because he's secure within himself as a black person. So he doesn't have to play these who's blacker than who games because that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
What they're trying to do is establish who's the blackest. So they have
Who's the
these who is the
blackest?
blackest conversations. Like, so listen, if you sleeping with this, if you got an interracial relationship, you ain't really black. It's like, well, what the fuck does that have to do with this scenario?
Mm.
We got an engineer who's a top engineer in the world for designing airports. He likes what we're doing, likes the idea that black folks finally have a nation of their own. It says, you know what? Since I'm the top guy in this field, I want to make you guys the most technologically advanced airport in the world.
Mm.
But he's involved in an interracial relationship. So we go, man, fuck you, nigga. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You ain't black.
Airport my
Li-
ass.
like I've said for the billion times. I've said this like the a billion times. Whenever there's a black Trump supporter who's willing to cave for Donald Trump, white folks will put them on the screen in a heartbeat. They don't care that the person is black or non-white. If they
Yo,
caping for Donald Trump, they will
yo,
gladly put them on. How many times you
Jabari,
see Candace Owens, Larry Elder?
Jabari. White people will make us president. Think about that.
Yeah.
They will make us president of their country. That's how comfortable they are knowing that you are my bitch.
Oh
Be-
shit.
because it's about having power, and they understand power.
Or
They
yeah.
understand power, and they understand where they need to let people in, and they understand when to let people in, and when to say no, you still a nigga.
Yep.
How about that?
Mm.
Also, because we built the system, because the system is designed for us, anybody who works in our country is going to work for the interest of our people because they won't get elected if they don't do it. That's
Thank
why
you.
Barack Obama was having to cape for white folks, because you can't win an election in America without white votes.
Let me give you another example of how comfortable white people are with us in positions of power and how they understand what real power is. The head of the Department of Justice can technically put charges against war criminals. I think it's fair to say that George Bush and his crew committed countless acts of war criminal acts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They were so comfortable that they weren't going to be punished. They put a black man in charge
Mm.
of the Department of Justice. Forget Obama. They put a black man in charge of the Department of Justice because that's how confident they were that nothing was going to happen to them.
Yeah.
You
Mm.
see how this goes? You see how this
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
works?
and everybody listening to this, and everybody who hear this, I really want them to understand that the BAIO, our main objective is to obtain power for black
Power.
people.
All right.
And here's the deal, y'all. I promise you, us four on this live stream, and the few of us who are always talking week after week outside of YouTube, the stuff that y'all don't hear, we us as a collective do not have the resources and the capital to get that power. We need people.
Right.
People makes power. It's a system. And that's what we want. That's why we're not on here straight up. We did this as almost like a spoof skit. Let's talk about the LGBTQ and Dave Chappelle. This is nothing that y'all ever hear us talking about. We don't talk about the latest celebrity news and everything. We do it amongst ourselves and laugh at it like, look at us going all down a rabbit hole about some bullshit that has nothing to do about us having power. But we realize that we need people. We need people to obtain this power. That's why, but we do understand it, but we never hone in on it. We say stuff like, why when somebody say something about the Jews, they get canceled, but you could talk about killing black people all day in rap music because we don't have any power and we don't
Mm.
desire it. You don't see the people come together and say, you know what, I'm tired of y'all talking about selling dope in black communities and killing black people and abusing black women. We're not listening to that anymore. We don't do
Mm.
that. We clap and shake our ass to it. But you say one thing about a Jew, one thing about killing the police or something, literally the album is off the counter. It's not being distributed anymore. Literally, because they have power and they care
Um,
about that power.
I really want to
Power, people.
add to your point, right? um about it. First, I want to address Fly Guy's a point when he's like, "I'm not threatened by other racial groups in black dominated spaces because I know we control the context and reality that we are in. Hence, why I'm tired of the China taking over Africa rhetoric. Yeah, because it's African leaders. That's black people choosing to do that, not because not because that China can force them, but because we want to do it. And
Yeah.
like me, like I said, I go hard in the paint for black people. Despite the fact that I'm LGBT, I go hard in the paint. I would promote black marriages. I will promote all that stuff. I support all black couples, everything. But then I get turned around and then y'all end up saying, not you guys, but people will say homophobic stuff despite the fact that I'm literally supporting you and going hard in the paint for you. That's number one. Number two is I was reading this article on the East Asia Forum.org, and they were talking about moving beyond the US China Cold War cliche. And one of the things that they said was he said Washington has never faced a rival like Beijing. The two powers are incapable of dominating each other, each having dictated the durability of the bipolarity. China cannot expect the US to accept its authoritarian system, and Washington cannot alter Beijing's intrinsic value or stop its rise.
Hmm.
Then they said attempts to build exclusive alliances are misperceived. US China bipolarity does not match the classic vision of colliding set of equivalent great powers. The United States and China are superpowers and are competing for dominance.
Hmm.
But they said a huge but. The European Union, Russia, Japan, and India remain independent and may upset the power balance.
Hmm.
There it is. And I'll make a point to show you how pathetic our situation is and why and I love what Umoja said. I'm calling him President Umoja from now on. I love what he said because the trans portion of that LGBTQ community makes up about 0.06% of the population. I want you to think about that. Yet they can wield socioeconomic and political power, and we sitting up here looking like a bunch of fucking jackasses. Where anybody can say anything and do anything to black folks, and there's no repercussions for it. As a matter of fact, you remember the cop that killed Michael Brown? He's a fucking millionaire.
Oh God, you gotta be kidding.
No, his GoFundMe account got millions of dollars. So that nigga retired from police work. Now he's a millionaire. He don't have to work.
What?
Holla,
To
holla.
add,
I don't know if you had. I don't know if you have holla on a live stream. Sorry, Barry. I just want you don't got to tell it now, but tell the Stonewall story. Holla before this one's over. Tell the Stonewall story because that's just a good depiction of power.
I'll let you, Jabbar, you familiar with that whole Stonewall thing, right?
yeah,
Let's
You
be
you
real.
can tell it. I'll let you tell it.
yeah. So basically, the Stonewall incident was what really was sparked like the whole LGBT movement. Basically, it was a bunch of police officers who went into a bar and basically were trying to arrest all of the LGBT community. They were primarily transgender and drag, but they were trying to basically arrest them, and it took a lot amount of time. They were fighting back. It took like a couple of days for them to fully be able to arrest everybody. It eventually led to a massive backlash in the LGBT community. It led to protests, and then that's basically what kicked off everything we have today. That's why
Yeah.
people talk about Stonewall being like the spark, because Stonewall was what really kicked everything off.
And
Because before then,
Stonewall is what everybody respects too. Like Dave Chappelle even mentioned it in the special. He said, "I respect the Stonewall people because they fought for theirs." And also, and let me just give a little bit of specifics to that whole situation. The cops kept raiding wherever they would go. So wherever the LGBTQ community would go to
Hmm.
party, the cops would eventually raid it, and they would have to move somewhere else.
Okay.
And Stonewall was sort of like their, Jean-Luc Picard versus the Borg situation, where no, we're not leaving here. You're not good because if we leave here, there's nowhere for us to go.
Right.
So they fought the NYPD for 7 days.
Hmm.
The
Be clear when you say
NYPD.
fault. Be clear when
I'm
you say
talking,
fault,
yeah. When
not
I say
march, not
fight, yeah,
protest.
fights. So you got all the people that y'all disrespect who got on who got on makeup and dresses and all this out there fighting with the cops. So they went against the NYPD, and then after that, like when you go through everything, like when it comes to the conclusion of what happened with that, who set? If this was a gang, who set is the Village in New York? It's the LGBTQ set.
It's
Everybody acknowledges that. That's
I
their
mean,
set.
when you go to Stonewall, there's literally LGBT bars like literally surrounding the whole Stonewall area. Like
That
it's
whole area is LGBT, and everybody knows it, and everybody leaves it the fuck alone. Ain't nobody doing shit in that area to nobody. And the reason why is because they stood their ground and they fought for theirs. And like Emil just said, it wasn't marching, it was actual physically fighting against the NYPD. That's why I say, you know what? Before you start disrespecting somebody and before you start looking down on somebody, why don't you do the same fucking thing?
Mm.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
You do the same fucking thing. Fight for yours.
hmm and
Especially all these we can do it right here niggas who claim that we running away to Africa. Well, how come you ain't fighting like the LGBTQ community did in New York?
Oh
and
shit.
also let's not forget, if you had some real power, like you would be the U.S. policy would be completely changing because they know there would be risk if they didn't. There's no risk that there's going to be consequences if they don't do our bidding. So, for example, with the John Gruden situation, right? Everybody was defending. You had racist Republicans defending John Gruden, talking about, oh, what he said wasn't bad and all of this stuff. And if you had power, let's say we were in Liberia, we could say to the Republican Party, you keep saying this racist stuff, don't be surprised if China's by your doorstep. We will literally do that to you. Don't play with us. Don't try it. You see, you
Can y'all
don't
put
have
the
that mean.
Yeah,
can y'all
like
put the comment about thinking that it's too late on there? I think that's worth touching. There's a
Yeah.
somebody comment.
I just saw that too.
I
So
think it's too late to
Okay, keep
co-opt and establish a power base in black nations in the Caribbean, along with having it on the continent.
It's not too late, but the thing is, you at some point, you like. I want you to read. I'll never. Hold on. Let me get this quote because I just was watching this on my lecture. It was a quote by Thomas Edison, and it was in my PowerPoint. So I want to read it to y'all, if I may. Um, hold on. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, I got it. Okay. Here, it's a quote by Thomas Edison, and he said, being busy does not always mean real work. The object of all work is production or accomplishment, and it's to either of these ends there must be forethought, system, planning, intelligence, and honest purpose, as well as perspiration.
yeah,
Bingo. It's called working smart, not working hard. Nobody wants to work hard.
right.
let's
That's
let's
a bunch
let's
of
be
bullshit.
Matter of
let's
fact,
be
you
clear
know,
about a couple things. Let's be clear about a couple things. What black people do, black power movements, black power organizations, whatever we want to call them, have been doing for decades upon decades is working hard as hell and not getting anywhere. Let's be clear about that first of all, because they do. And it's usually working class people like us, and we trying to get meetings. We're trying to get our people organized in our cities. And then we wonder when we look up, it's only four people showing up at the meeting, or it's a bunch of old people showing up at the meeting who already burnt out and just want to support, and nothing is getting done. First of all. Second of all, in terms of time, we have this gross lack of time perspective by thinking that we have all the time in the world to do something for black people. We do not. So it's not too late. However, time is absolutely running out because once all them European countries and everything, when climate change and stuff start really hitting them hard, and when all their resources is dried up, please believe they're going straight to Africa. So if we don't get our head out of our asses real quick and stop playing this cat and mouse game with America, time will run out. We will try to go somewhere and be very upset when it's ran by Indian people. Be very upset when it's ran by black people who are so corrupt that they don't give a damn about the people. So yeah, it's not too late, but time is running out, people.
Time is
Please
running
believe
out, and
that.
it will be
Please
too
believe
late at
that.
some point. At some point, it will be too late.
I
matter of
mean,
fact,
let's address that issue on climate change. We see right now in Madagascar there's famine right now. We see with the COVID-19 vaccination. Have y'all seen the map of when it comes to COVID-19 vaccinations? Okay, the world average is 40%. Africa, less than 5% of the population is fully vaccinated. Now, you can have your opinions on vaccine. That's not, I'm pro-vaccine, but that's my stance. But the point of it being is that Africa is busy begging for vaccine instead of developing human capital, instead of focusing on developing their healthcare system and their research capability. And now you're in a situation where you're begging other countries. Meanwhile, other countries who are actually spending money on their healthcare, spending money on research, developing their economy, now they're administrating vaccines like candy. They can get their vaccines anywhere. And now you're begging that other countries will be generous enough to literally give you some vaccines. That's what Umoja, the COVID-19 pandemic is a prime example of. You don't have much time. You
Yo,
thought you could wait forever and ever to develop your healthcare system, and now when the rubber meets the road, now you can't get it.
yo, I know we've said some controversial things on here today, but this one is gonna hurt.
Come on, man. Another one?
No, this one is gonna hurt.
Oh shit.
These so-called black men out here got a problem with how all of these black women is talking shit about black men ain't doing this and black men ain't doing that. You know what would end that? By
What?
actually doing something.
Mm.
How is it possible that the richest fucking country in the continent in the world, bar none, is begging other people for resources?
Mm.
You have the resources right there in the ground, in your land. Civilization started on that continent because everything was there. Fertile soil, everything was there. Everything that we need to empower ourselves is right there in the land. And yet we're begging other people to help us.
Mm.
It's an embarrassment.
Facts. And I want you and to add to your point, I want to add to Hollow's point, right? I was watching on Joy News TV. It's a Ghanaian new television show, right? They were like, when they were talking about LGBT rights, they said that Ghana can't force the UK to accept polygamy. Actually, you can if you make the argument that it's a human rights issue. But see, we're not thinking that way. See, you're not thinking about being a leader. You're always thinking as a follower. The West can tell you what to do because number one, they actually back their stuff up, and two, they at least make an argument for it. We don't do that. You say, well, they won't accept polygamy. Yes, they will. There's a polyamorous movement in America. 1 in 5 Americans are polyamorous. So you can say, yes, they should be allowed to do it. One, because it's a human rights issue. Two, you can make the argument that marriage, between two people, is technically a religious perspective and it technically discriminates against other religions, which is a violation of freedom of religion and freedom of expression. You could do that, but see, they're not thinking about that. They're not trying to be leaders. They're just trying to be followers. Like you said, reactionary instead of being proactive.
And let me, well, this is an aside, but I just wanted to talk because I remember we were talking privately and I said something about polygamy was bullshit. I didn't mean polygamy as a concept was bullshit. What I was talking about was the guys who are pushing it. Like most of the black men is pushing polygamy, just want to have multiple vaginas. That's all it's really about.
Oh god.
But when you think about it, let's take politics out of it and laws out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Monogamy is actually the minority
Facts.
because like I said, take away laws, take away all of this contracts and shit. How many people do you know are actually together and with no one else? Most people is fucking a whole bunch of people, men and women.
True.
So monogamy is the minority, not polygamy. Polygamy would probably be more natural than monogamy. Let's just keep it real.
We got the good minister, man. So good to hear from this
Minister
his
DeWoo.
busy self.
Peace, man.
The woo's on?
Peace. What's going
Yep.
on, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Hey. Yes, I can.
Good to hear
How's
your
everybody
voice,
going? Doing?
Chappelle.
I'm good to hear all of y'all. Good to be here. Good to be here. How's everything going other than what's going?
Things ain't going quick enough for me, man. Why isn't every African leader on the continent saying, "Yo, we got to get our shit together. Let's have this meeting and let's get together."
Hmm.
You know why? Because they're a bunch of corrupt bootlicking niggas.
Hmm.
Facts. When you see that the hordes are coming to ravage the land, I don't give a shit. If you and your enemy are living in the land, you and the enemy gonna work together to fight
Facts.
against the outside threat. And if you're not doing
You
that,
know,
then what is it? What's going on?
I would like to add on to what was being said about when the person asked, was it too late to establish territories in Caribbean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, this goes back to the original, which really never changed, but the original talking points that we have been saying for the longest time. And that shows that you may not necessarily understand our philosophy because the philosophy is built on the quality of the people. It's not built on any one place. We can, with the right people, go anywhere and establish whatever we want with the right people and the right amount of resources. The problem is that we don't have enough serious people trying to better themselves enough to qualify to be major players in a new nation. We have a lot of people that will go on YouTube and watch a lot of videos and read some books and be able to quote books and information and knowledge, but we don't have enough people who are at the top of their trade that would command respect and be able to build in harsh conditions or unlike environments. So if we had enough people that was able to build, administrate, and handle things in different climates, different environments, we could go anywhere. The problem is we have not, as a people and as a movement specifically, built up enough race pride where people are saying, I want to be at the top of my trade. I want to be a name known in this trade, not because I want to be known in America, but because when we have our own nation, I will be a major contributor. We don't have enough people thinking like that. And so if you wanted to go someplace, wherever you wanted to go, because me being a person that is in two different trades, one being locksmith, one being electronic security, locks are the same all around this planet. Security is the same all around this planet. We all intersect at conferences, and there's really not much difference. So I think that probably applies all across the board. It applies in the electrician trade, all different trades. What are you doing to make yourself valuable to the movement to the point where you can now say, okay, we're here. This is what's going to be needed. And I go back to this particular thing that I've been saying for years, and Harlip will know once I start talking about it. When Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans, I remember there was like a army general there, and he was running shit. He was building shit. He was rebuilding it, and they did a spotlight on him in the USA Today. And he was saying that he said, "I'm not letting regular people back up in here right now. The only people I'm letting back in here is administrators and skilled workers." And I took
Mm.
that to my heart. I didn't know none of y'all. I didn't know none of y'all yet, but I stored it in my heart because I said to myself, "That's what the fuck you do. You
Right.
focus on the people who are going to be essential first, and then you let the common man or the common woman." But you see, the thing about it is that over the course of years, from what I saw, and Emoji was talking so beautifully about the hard work but little payoff earlier, we have demonized people with skills as the quote unquote talented 10th. And so what people try to do is they try to invoke W.B. Du Bois and they say, well, he was a bourgeois and he was a sellout and this, that, and the next thing. And that's how they downplay having skills and us being the talented 10th. You need the talented 10th. You absolutely did. They're essential. And the talented 10th makes everybody else who are untalented talented in the right context and in a controlled area. We cannot help people who are not talented when we're in an environment where we're forced to fight one another and we're encouraged to fight one another. So I think that if we're going to say anything about building, the bottom line is we're trying to build in Africa, specifically Liberia. But if you want to talk about going to a Caribbean country, you can ask that question. And I'm not talking about you specifically, brother. But the question is, who are you in your field? Are you the kind of mover and shaker that if we was to go to a Caribbean place, you would be able to command respect and tell us what we need to build in your particular field? 9 times out of 10, the answer to that shit is no.
Yeah, I'm the living embodiment of that. I'm a civil engineer.
Indeed.
We we got
Indeed.
we got another question. Or wait, did I miss it? Oh, well, I think you answered this, Hollow. Fly Guy said, "Why do you guys think that that some of the black leadership in Africa is so incompetent?"
What? Is that really a question?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Let me shut up. I'm the last person to this panel.
it's
What
in
did
the
he?
panel.
What did he ask? What did he ask?
He said,
Why
"Why
do
do
you
you
guys?
guys
Why do you
think
guys think that?
that some of the black leadership in Africa is so incompetent?"
I want to speak on. I can speak on that because, like I said, one, I've actually been to like the continent for a long time and understand some of the political dynamics because when I was at the University of Johannesburg. So I'll say it. Part of it is is obviously monetarily. We know there's money in doing business and being corrupt because the more corrupt that you are, you can make a lot of money. So if I'm in the government, I can favor my own government contracts over others. But another reason why some of the black leaders are incompetent is because of the situation in their country. Okay, so when you look at countries like Liberia, I'm going to use Liberia right now, or where like half of the population is illiterate, or you have a situation where the education system is not that good, or you have a situation where the institutions are not strong. It allows for leaders who are incompetent to move in because thing about competent people are not braggadocious. We don't brag. We're
Right.
not we're not
Right.
over exaggerating. We just do what we need to do and we understand the whole picture. People who are incompetent are overconfident. And they did a good
Mm-hmm.
point in distinguishing between confidence and competence. Confidence is what you
Mm-hmm.
believe you can do. Competence is what you can do. So if
Right.
you believe you can lead, but in reality you don't have the skills to lead, it puts you in a situation where incompetent people get into office because they're overconfident, therefore they have high charisma, and therefore they're able to sort of manipulate people because they have so much charisma. And then that overshadows the fact that this person has no experience in law, they have no experience in business, they have no education in STEM, they don't have any understanding of how public policy is. And that's where you get a lot of leadership in Africa. But also just look at America. What leaders in America do we see? Tariq, Umar. These people, we know they're incompetent, but what do they have? They're
Right.
overconfident, they're narcissistic, and they have high charisma.
That was excellent, bro. That was excellent.
I
That
think
was
too,
excellent. I could
when
nobody
we
none of us could have said that no
when
better.
we talk about African leadership and African governance, lots of the population are actually younger. There's like huge age gaps in many African countries, and a lot of the youth are not very politically savvy. See, here in America, we have an experience to where we've been forced on two counts to be have some level of political intelligence. On one hand, being black people, we've been abused by the political system for so long that we just have to be aware in some ways. We know that the education system is fucked up. We know that the politicians aren't for black people. So and a lot of us went down the rabbit hole of oh, we Democrats, we gotta vote. So we are politically savvy and we understand the importance of politics. Whereas in Africa, if you went somewhere where you literally worrying about like how you gonna feed your family for the week, or if the job that you're working at is actually going to pay you this month. You don't have time to be worried about what the politicians are doing, and you really don't even know. This is what I've heard from continental Africans, and this is what I've gathered from just what I see, read, and research on my own. So I think that plays a big role into it too. But that's where we come in with our quote unquote Western thinking asses. We come in and explain the importance of being a part of the political process. And what's beautiful about that is that we go somewhere and we get involved in a political process that is actually ours. Instead of, just like a lot of us here, we're completely disinterested in voting and worrying about who in office, because we understand the game here. It literally is never going to end up with us being satisfied or taken care of. Joe Biden gonna go on the Breakfast Club and say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and then they gonna do nothing for you niggas and gonna laugh about it. And we know that. Now we go to an African country and we start talking to, we could actually be the people on the soapbox in Africa. Might be dangerous in some cases, but we can go on the soapbox and encourage the people to vote and encourage people to change things and get shit done. Right. And it's going to actually mean something, effective change, doing something that matters, not just working hard and getting nowhere. So I think that, like, and it also ties into what the minister said about being expertise in certain fields and things of that nature. It actually gives us, it actually qualifies us to talk about the things that we want to talk about, because we're also bringing something to the table.
Oh my God.
But we need to be there. We need to be there to bring that to the table. And they'll say, oh, these people don't want to come over here and try to take over. They actually want to make it better, because a lot of people probably don't even know the reason why they so fucked up. You know?
Bro, there's an excellent question in the chat by Baruti. Can I respond to it?
Oh,
It
course.
yes.
It says, and I agree with everything you said. That was beautiful. And I would just add that, in addition to all that you said, brother, the people have been dealing with incompetent leadership for so long. It's almost like a behavior. And so, like, if you, so for instance, you be in America and you've been denied basic freedom, justice, and equality, as a black person, you're used to not having that, and you're used to functioning without it. And so on the continent, they're so used to incompetent leadership that so many people just have apathy. And that's why you see, like you're seeing on social media, a lot of brothers and sisters from the continent add you, and they have a whole American setup in their profile. You know what I'm saying? They want you to think that they're here, but they're over there. They may be in Nigeria or someplace like that. And it's because they see America's resources as a beacon of light. And if we can, and when we can, produce something on the continent, not here, but on the continent, that has resources and gives them hope, I guarantee you it won't be very hard to switch the loyalties. It's just that they have seen corruption for so many years and lack of resources that so many people were just like, fuck it. I got to deal with the cards that have been dealt me, and hopefully I get up out of here one day. This is kind of what we're trying to change. But the brother Baruti put a comment in, and he said, I tried to go back because there's so many people that spoke since him. Basically about how can we stop the ADOS infighting? And there it is. It says, given the environment of the U.S., I'm sorry, I'm driving while I'm doing this. What strategies would you suggest to minimize infighting? Is the ADOS movement operating new brawls? If so, we need to shut the ADOS center offline. See, for me, it's almost like what y'all was saying earlier about the percentage of the trans community in the gay community and in America. It's such a small percentage that I don't really think ADOS is a factor. If you run up on the average brother and
Exactly.
sister in your city and you say to them, yo, man, are you ADOS? They're going to be like, the fuck is you talking about? That's a new gang? Like, they're not going to know what you're talking about, because only we know. Am I right or wrong, big brother?
You
They're going to be
right.
like, oh, they're going to be like, oh, shit,
I
that's a new set. They're not going to know what you're talking about. You know what I'm
ADOS.
saying?
and you know what? And you know what? And you know what? Let me say this, and I'm gonna go on mute for a minute. I feel
Sure,
like I've been talking enough.
sure, sure.
When
Go
it
ahead,
comes
have
to
it.
the ADOS and the infighting and the FBA, the reality is that these are the people that incite emotions and discussion about things that, once again, does not matter. They're not going after power.
Right.
I think we have so much work that we need to do. We need to just focus on what we are doing. There should be no infighting. They can fight. They can fight, but we know that it is a battle that we cannot win because you cannot speak with fools. They will go around and
Right.
around and around and around and can't even answer the question to a real power in nationhood. My suggestion is that we
Right.
focus on what we need to do, what we want to do, and the people who with it, they will come. They will come. If we build it, they will come, and that's
I
what's
also
gonna have to happen.
Ho- ho- Hold up, Jabbar. Let me just answer the question, then I'm gonna pass it to y'all because I'm getting ready to go into a meeting with my mentor. I want to put all of y'all at ease about shit like this. ADOS is very necessary. And the reason why ADOS is necessary is because ADOS represents the last kicking and scratching of that stupid ass bullshit mentality. It is necessary because once ADOS dies, you're going to know it's all over. We don't have to deal with that no more. So ADOS is a necessary component of what used to be. And it's almost like the Tea Party and Trump Republicans, people who want America to be like it used to be, and they're clinging on any string they can to keep it to what it was. This ADOS shit is not respected by nobody but the people inside of it. The FBA is not respected by anybody but the people inside of it. You do not have to worry about that. Let them niggas have as much of a platform as they possibly can because all they're doing, not only are they showing us or they're being the last throes of this, but they're also drawing out enough people with that mentality. And what's going to happen is when people latch on to that, give money to it, time to it, or whatever, and it dies, then they really going to be dejected and be like, God damn, I thought Tariq was the man. I thought Umar was the man. I thought Jason Black was the man. And when that shit dies, they got no choice but to support nationhood. Because what else is left? So to me, let them have their platform. Let them say all that bullshit that they're talking. Tariq raised up, you know, a sizable amount of money for that place, and then they found out certain things about it that was contradictory. I sit back and I want that to happen, bro. I want that to happen because I want people to see this is what's going to happen to you when you invest in something that is not nationhood. You're going to get your heart broken, disappointed. You're going to be bitter. And then after that, BAIO and what we stand for is going to be a beacon to say, well, damn, this is the only thing that's left. But you got to let that happen because if you don't let that happen, in people's hearts will still be the seed of like an ADOS or FBA, and they'll try to live it because nobody has done it yet. Now it's been done. It's out there. It's flesh. And let people flock to that who's going to flock to that because the reality of it is that people who think like us, we don't even for a second jack that ADOS shit. So
At all.
to me, it also identifies people who think like that. So we know, okay, if you're down with the ADOS shit, then I definitely know that you're useless to the BIO because if you really want to fight for some fucking museum in America, that's your crowning
Hmm,
achievement. You know what I'm saying?
hmm.
And let me just say this before I bounce. Years ago, there was a leader, you fill in the blanks, that had an economic plan for 3 to 5 years. And everybody, you fill in the blanks, donated to this plan. And all he did was put up a fucking restaurant.
we know who he is, and as a matter of fact, they coming back for their money. They going to court for it. We know who you talking about.
Yeah, so think about that for a second. A lot of people put their hearts and minds on this economic plan. He's going to do something for us. He's going to build jobs in America. And they gave him a restaurant. And after that, you saw people say, I'm not fucking with that no more. You see the
We
premise
have
that
to
I'm
be
saying now?
we
Yeah.
have to be very clear about something when it comes to money. Everybody listening to it and anybody who speaks about the BAIO, you have not never one time heard us mention donating to us for anything. The only time we mention money is to encourage you to save your money to come with us to a trip to the continent. And that's a
Exactly.
fact.
Yep.
Or next year,
Period.
Exactly.
literally.
Chima in the flesh. What's going on?
Hey, hey, what's
And
going on? It's been a while since I've been on the panel here.
yeah, but I want to go in on the whole ADOS stuff, right? What see because I'm so averse and so adept in the Back to Africa movement. One of the ways that with ADOS, they're just like Pan Africanism has never worked, and Black immigrants have always they're coming here despite the fact that it was us who allowed them to come into the country. See, when you know history, because see, unlike us, we're well versed. See, we're not ignorant. We do research. Unlike them, I would know. Well, the tactics you've tried failed. We can look at the Garvey movement. So you're saying black immigrants are here to destroy us or limit our rights, but you literally sabotaged Garvey by saying that Garvey was illegitimate because he was from the Caribbean and we were legit because we were American. You tried that same tactic. So what are you talking about that our movement has failed? Our movement never had the chance to succeed because you kept getting in the way of it.
Yeah, and like I've said multiple times, the way that where we are in America is your fault, nigga. You control the narrative. You got the biggest microphone. So everything, every situation that we are in, and every position that we are in here in America lays on your fucking lap. And I ain't heard nobody counter that.
Because
Don't
they
try to
can.
don't try to act like black nationalists could just running with the globe. Nobody listened to us. They listened to you. And that's why we stuck in this fucking position that we in right now, because of your ass. And I'm gonna make sure you know that every fucking time I open up my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was you. Go ahead.
in the end, they chose integration over nationhood, whether it's in Africa or even here on this continent in America.
Bitch ass niggas.
Speaking of Harlem, like you said, remind them that is one thing how we can do to destroy Adolf is remind them you sabotaged and you destroyed us. Let's not forget the fact that Garvey created literally the highest mass movement in Black history. No mass movement in Black history was as powerful and influence as Garvey. He had people on the continent. He had people in the Caribbean. He created the greatest Black mass movement in history, and y'all destroyed it by saying, "Oh, well, he Caribbean. These Caribbeans is fake." I thought Black immigrants weren't in the country. I thought they were minuscule. Well, apparently they weren't. If there were 40,000 of them in there. Oh, let's not forget how you infiltrated these Black immigration movements, and then you ended up losing your land and making everybody else look dumb. Now we ain't got nothing. We tried to save up our money so that we could go to Liberia for the chance to live a better life because we knew we were not going to have an opportunity here. And for you to then go in, sabotage it, and then fail, I have no respect for you.
Yeah.
None.
Take some personal responsibility, you bootstrap niggas. You always talking about bootstrap. Take some personal responsibility for the plight of black people here in America. It's your fault, nigga. It's your fault.
Shout outs to Ronan. His comments crack me up. He said ADOS. He said ADOS FBA equals Klondike bar, rich creamy vanilla ice cream encased in a lovely sweet chocolate shell. Yo, Ronan.
Sometimes the chocolate ain't that sweet, Ronan.
What in the world?
I mean,
Sometimes
shit.
that
I mean,
chocolate
hell,
is
that.
bitter.
I mean, let me be honest with you from a chef standpoint. That Klondike chocolate is barely even real chocolate. Let's be honest.
There it is.
So let's touch a little bit back on the special, the closer. What did y'all think when Dave Chappelle was talking about the Clifford story? That shit right there was funny. I did not know he was going to bring it that way, but he said.
My favorite, you know what my favorite joke was, because I posted it in the
Signal.
Yeah, my favorite joke was the one where he said that a man should be the leader of the women's rights movement.
Oh yeah. Look, when he said, you know, I'll take you to the promised land. I like how he had his hand over his chest with the button up, like, you know, politicians do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to wait, let me read it because I don't want to mess the joke up. It was so good.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna read the whole joke, but I'll just read the punchline.
That shit was hilarious. 'Cause, you know, he said, you know, I'll take you to the promised land. I like how he had his hand over his chest with the button up, like, you know, politicians do. Yeah.
He said,
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, he said before the setup for the punchline, he was talking about all the stupid shit that the white LGBTQ, no, not LGBT, the white feminists were doing with the Me Too movement.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, what I think the feminist movement needs to be very successful is a male leader. He said, I'll do it. I will lead you women to the promised land. I will make sure you get equal pay for equal work. I will make sure nobody harasses or fucks with you on the job. I will protect all of your interests. And all that I ask for in return is that you suck my dick.
Then we're back at square one.
And then we're back to square one, aren't we? I love that joke, man. I love that joke.
Yeah, because he was talking about, the movements, not that what they stood for, but with how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't really producing anything. Like that's what I liked about Umoja's comment a few streams ago, where he talked about there's action and then there's I think it was called effective action, action that actually produces results, that gears to a solution versus just working hard and then there's nothing that comes out of it, or very little,
Right.
Christopher Brazen has a question, I believe. He said, what would you expect from a mink slide pimp with a fake Arabic name, but now he is a Native American? FBA.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Is his name Marcus Sanders, by the way?
Who is he talking about? Because I don't know these people. I don't.
Tariq Nasheed.
Yeah, Tariq Nasheed. Yeah,
Oh,
Tariq
okay.
Nasheed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is his real name Marcus Sanders?
Probably. Probably.
probably
Maybe his real name is Clifford.
Clifford.
That's his new name now.
I'm thinking that's where the one dislike came in too, because like I just saw it, I was like, wait, what?
Oh, we're gonna always. I take dislikes as a badge of honor for the BAIO.
A badge of honor.
Because what it means is that you triggering these fake ass niggas who's on some bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
who don't offer any solution. Where are their live streams where they talking about anything?
Yeah.
Anything productive?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where can we go and tune in? Even if we wanted to troll, we can't even do it because it don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of clowns, man. And like I said, take some personal responsibility. Because I always remind them, because they always want to paint that picture like the black community has been listening to these Pan-Africanists and that. No, they haven't, nigga. They've been listening to you. They've been listening to you, nigga.
Facts.
What you gonna say? You gonna say they haven't?
Yeah.
They've been listening to you.
If they was listening to Pan-Africanism has been going on since the 1700s. If they was really listening to Pan-Africanism, we'd already be in Africa right now. I'd be in Liberia right now in my school speaking crew. Please.
And another thing is, like, if people have been listening to Pan-Africanists like that, like, then why is this whole Aboriginal movement growing the way it is?
Yeah, the pretendian movement.
Yeah.
Who's not even accepted. I don't think the Cherokee even accepting your black ass.
Oh my god.
No, they're not. None of them are.
Why don't you go and kick that shit? Your big issue should be with the Cherokee. What you fucking with us for?
I'm about to say, why don't you, if you say y'all Native American, then why don't y'all go speak to the Catawbas, the Cherokees, the Yemencees, the Lakotas? Why don't you go speak to the Navajo? I'm sure they would accept you. Oh, no, wait. They would instantly call you out and instantly come after you.
No, because here's what they're doing, right? They're either claiming tribes that have long been extinct, or they're going as low as making up tribal names for themselves and claiming that these are real Native American tribes. Like, for example, there's this one site they call themselves the Dugdamaunya tribe.
The what?
Dig 'em out tribe? What the fuck?
Dugdamaunya tribe.
Oh,
I'm serious.
sound like you said dig him out.
I might as well. I might as well have.
Oh my gosh.
Or they photoshopping random black people's faces off of Google onto a random Native American face.
Yeah, did you see the one that Patrick
Yeah,
posted
they,
where the
they
guy
were.
is? They tried to say that Captain America was stolen from some Native American picture.
Yeah.
Captain America was
Oh
stolen
yeah,
from a Native American. My God.
like they even go lower than that. They even said that the Confederate flag came from the Iroquois Confederation, and say that was black people's flag.
Mm,
Oh,
And you wonder why like I got to get a break from here.
yeah. Yeah. What did
It's
y'all
sad, man.
what did y'all think when Dave Chappelle brought up the story of well, not the story, but just how like the baby, he had killed somebody in Walmart, but that didn't affect his career. Meanwhile, if you say something about the LGBTQ or say something derogative, like all hell comes loose. Like, what was your take on that?
I mean, that's a reflection of society. I
Yeah.
mean, that's not the baby's fault that people allowed that to happen. That's society's fault. Y'all allowed him to get that way, despite the fact that he literally did that. So
Hmm.
it's society's fault.
don't abort the baby.
I don't know if you heard me in the beginning, but there was a white lady who said they were talking about the special. She said that should be left alone. You shouldn't even touch that. I'm like, fuck you, bitch.
Wait,
Black
wait.
people been getting joked on all this time, and there ain't nobody jumped up to their defense. Oh, you stop talking about black people like that. Fuck you. Everybody could get joked on. Every fucking body. You don't go to comedy clubs and get offended. If you want to be offended, don't go to a comedy club. Let me give you some advice. Because you might get talked about while you're there, while you're in the audience. That's the way the shit works.
Yeah. It was funny when Dave had brought up the one story where this lady was following him after he left the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, basically, like, I watch you or whatever. And oh man, I forgot what she had said to him, but he basically said it bothered him. And then he brought up a question basically saying, oh my gosh, I forgot. But it was the part where
He
he
was
was like,
saying, where did you watch me? Did you actually come to a show? Did you see a show on
yeah,
Netflix? Or did you just see some like YouTube clips from one of your friends shared something that I said?
yeah. and then, and he was like, leave it in the comment section, bitch. But before that, he was saying what he wanted to say, and from his mind was like throw you in the we was like, what, like throw her in the trunk or something, or kidnap her or something like that. It was just, oh my gosh.
Can we just say anybody that's objective and anybody that's an honest person. Because comedy is subjective. Some people like Dave Chappelle, some people don't think he's funny. I don't have a problem with that. But let's just be objective.
Mm-hmm.
How come nobody was saying anything when he did the nigger family?
Because
He
it's
did
about
the
niggas.
racial draft. When he did all of these other, when he was making fun of Chinese, they had a on the last special before this, when he did this whole thing about the Chinese. How come nobody made an issue about that and jumped in to protect those groups?
Because it's about niggas.
Right.
It's about niggas. The Cliffords.
My perfect example of it is it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Remember that song?
Yeah.
All throughout that song, you can hear nigga. There's a line in there where he says, you should do what we do, stack chips like Hebrews. They bleeped Hebrews out. Think about that. Hebrew ain't even a fucking curse word. They bleeped out Hebrews and left in nigga.
Oh my God.
That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, pretty much.
It comes once again. It comes down to power. it's it's a gross reality how much actual how much let's say hypothetical power that black people have as a collective in America, from entertainment to sports to medical field. We are experts in all of these fields, yet we won't organize each other to have to be one in any aspect. So therefore we don't wield any actual power. You know, we'll brag about the quote unquote spending power that we have and everything else, but there's no organized unit. There's just no organized unit on any front. I can't think of one. I can't think of one, even with all these black organizations.
Hmm.
Like I was saying on the disc, I don't know if it was Discord or in Signal when we was talking. I was like, there is no reason why all of these black organizations, from RGB to black LGBTQ, once a month or even quarterly, annually, get together and have a representative from all of them and talk about something that we're doing together. Something, even if it is, we need to send a representative from each of these places to Liberia to see what we can build for ourselves outside of America. That's not a hard thing. That's not a difficult thing to do at all. And we won't organize anything.
Yo, man,
Anything.
me and Mac used to go to these forums, these black forums. Somebody gonna have to mute their mic because it's a lot of background noise. We used to go
Oh,
to
sorry
these
about that.
forums. No problem. We used to go to these forums, and I've told this story before that one of my skills is the ability to ask the right question. And we used to go into these forums, and we've been asked to leave these forums when you simply just ask the right question. And the question that you used to always ask at these forums was, "What is the black agenda?"
Mm.
It sounds
In
like
my
a harmless question, right?
Right.
in my
But
experience,
that
they don't even.
that thing caused a lot of fucking problems whenever we would ask that.
I mean, hell, if you ask those same question on certain black Instagram pages, they won't even respond. They'll just straight up block you.
What is so dangerous about that question? I mean, it's a rhetorical question that I'm asking because you already know why it's a dangerous question. But I would ask a different version of that question. If I was on a forum, let's say we was on those town hall meetings and I was one of the people in the audience, and you had black leaderships and black representatives on the panel, and they asked me to put the mic in my hand and ask me a question. My question would be this. Um, One United Bank is the largest black bank in America. Why aren't our leadership telling black folks to put their money in One United Bank and still keeping our money in white banks?
Hmm. Hmm.
That's it. Give them back the mic and then watch them squirm.
Watch them squirm. Oh
That's
man.
my gift. That's my gift to anybody who likes going to these things. Take that question and ask it next time you're there.
Yeah. That, you
That's a good question about organizing. I think excuse me if I interrupted, if we were still going to
oh,
talk about something else, but I just
go
seen the
ahead.
question
Go
pop
ahead.
up. I think that when you talk about, because there's a structure of organizing and then there's executing whatever you're trying to organize. Literally, one person could come up with a with a with a with the system of organization. I could sit down and write out, okay, I need this person to be the executive, I need this person to be the spokesperson, I need one person to be the social media manager, I need one person to be the overseas contact, this and that.
Hmm.
However, I can't do all of those roles myself. The people on this call right now could organize an entire movement, a movement that would work step by step by step. However, if there's nobody coming to help, we're just going to be sitting up here talking and talking and talking ourselves in circles and getting frustrated because people don't really want it. So to
Hmm.
answer your question, it literally takes one to organize, but it takes the people. It takes several people, hundreds of people to execute the organization, and that's the point. And that's the problem. People always like, I could get up somewhere in a forum and say, we need to do this, we need to do that. And you'll have 17 people say, well, nigga, what you doing? What you
Ooh.
doing? Talking about me when I'm saying we. Only thing I'm saying is we, us. And they just point the finger and say, what are you doing? And it makes me want to punch people in the throat. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because that's the dumbest statement to make to somebody who's talking about us, for you to focus on them. So the answer is we need as many as possible to actually execute. Good question though.
Welcome to the club, fam.
It's ridiculous, man. It's
Welcome to Club
ridiculous.
Hollop.
It's
Hollow,
ridiculous.
stop.
It's one of the most frustrating things though. You
Isn't
can
it
get up and
true?
literally all you saying is we, us, this is what we need to do. And then people get offended. People get offended as if you're preaching to them or something, when it's like, no, I actually see the value of a us. I see a value of a us, and all you want to do is look at me. Just because I'm the one who's saying it, you want to look at me, and I'm talking about us. It's weird. It's just weird and sick, and it just
Like,
makes me feel slimy.
I mean, that's all.
Seriously.
What is that?
It's all about individualism. That's the
Miriam?
problem.
Is that the
Because
person who asked that
it's all
question?
about individualism. Because nobody wants to think about the collective. Like all all everyone wants to focus on is do good for myself and be better than that other person right there.
Hit that cash shot. No, I'm saying.
Pretty
Oh,
much.
I don't think
My
that's
man's
correct. 100 is too vague. Execution. There's wait, I can't read the rest of that.
well,
I'll
he
read it.
said basically he or she is saying that they don't disagree with the number, as if they didn't understand my point.
100 is too vague to execute it. There must be a specific amount. My question to that person is: are you with the BAIO? Are you on the BAIO website? And if you have a certain particular skill, have you introduced that skill to the group? Because I'm really not trying to hear people critiquing us who haven't input into any fucking thing that we're doing. Well, that's interesting because we have forums outside of YouTube. Are you on those forums? Are you on the Signal group? Are you in the Discord? Because I don't know your name.
Did you sign up for the website at least?
No, they say they have. They say, yes, I have. How come we haven't heard of them? Because anybody that's in the group and anybody that's active in the group, we all know who you are.
Can I make a point about
And
the website? Because I think people get confused. Family, people out there, the reason why we push to sign up for the website, because that's pretty much the only tool that we have to verify that you're indeed Black. There is nothing special about signing up for the website. It's literally because you have to upload a picture of yourself and give your email and what you do and like what state that you're in. That's it. There is no secret like you sign up for the website. You got to have a credit card or something like that. You sign up for the website so we verify that you're Black. Then we let you into all of our private conversations and stuff. Just to be clear on that, because I know that if you just hearing sign up for the website, then you just think that, yo, I'm just signing up for a website for no reason. Why I got to do that? That's the reason. It's just for identification purposes only. Literally, if you don't hear anything else, understand that the website is for identification purposes only. So then
Just
you
to
can come into
verify.
the fold just to verify, man. Then you can come into the fold and be on all the private conversations that we're on the day-to-day basis.
yeah,
That's
if you're
it.
on the website, like, I don't know. I think I know who this is because the last name Miriam I recognize. You said I asked if I could be a secretary. Who stopped you? Who stopped you from being a secretary? Yeah,
Me.
that's all right. Marion Drum. I know who that is. Yeah,
Me.
nobody stopped you, Marion. Unless you asking to be paid. We ain't paying your ass to do it. Ain't
Yo.
nobody paying me. I hope that ain't the issue. We ain't paying nobody to be nothing in this organization. If you want to do this, you got to do it out of the love for your people and the organization.
The love.
But ain't nobody stop. If anybody comes, like right now, you say you want to be the secretary, come on in to the Signal group, come in into the Discord, Come into where we're actually communicating and build with us.
Let's get to work.
Nobody's stopping anybody from doing anything. Am I lying, y'all?
No, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
If somebody out there is a graphic artist and they want to start you know, doing things for the BAIO, who's stopping you from doing it? Like, if there's a graphic artist out there that wants to create an intro for the BAIO YouTube channel, who's stopping you from doing that?
Miriam said they're in the Signal group.
If you're in a Signal group, post a message in the Signal group like right now.
So here's a question that I thought about just now. Ties it back to Dave Chappelle, but also with, nationhood.
Mm-hmm.
Does our people treat nationhood as beyond pussy or impossible pussy?
Both.
Both. So it's something beyond that they can't get. And it's something impossible.
You know what the real beyond pussy is?
Uh-oh. What's that?
The conscious community.
What? The conscious community is beyond pussy?
Yeah, because just like Dave Chappelle says, it's not really black power. It's kind of like black power, but it ain't really black power.
It ain't really black power.
That's not blood, that's beet juice.
Oh my God.
That's what the conscious community is like. They play in black power. Is this the first time y'all seen Marion say anything in a Signal group? She's in the group. Yeah, she's definitely in the group. This is the first time I've seen her say anything in this group. That's the problem, Marion. You just described what the issue is. People play in the background, laying back in the cut like peroxide.
Like peroxide.
That's the problem.
Oh, man.
You got to get active, man. We don't know who you are if you don't show your face, if you don't make your voice known.
Yeah. But let's see. We got one in politics being financially incentivized is exactly why some of us think they're incompetent. Oh, that goes back to the why black leaders are incompetent question. Peace, love, in Asia. How you doing? Is there any other thoughts or any other things that we should bring up? Or do you guys want to bring up?
About the whole incompetent African leaders, like deep down these guys know that they're incompetent, and let's be honest, they don't really plan on changing that. They know if they just fuck up their country, take all these unpayable loans that, let's be honest, only they benefit from. They can just run off with the money and then just stash it in a bank somewhere for themselves. They know they have the blessing from these imperialist powers who will continue paying them off to let them pillage their resources. They know they'll be able to use their weak militaries to just crack down on any grassroots movements.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they know they can't really do much of anything, and they don't care either. And that's not just limited to Africa either. It's apparently the same way in the Caribbean, and it's the same way in the Americas. That's why in a place like, say, Jamaica or Barbados, you have a lot of fertile land that can be used to produce a lot of fruit and vegetables, but at the same time, most of your fruit and vegetables that you have right now are being imported from the U.S. and Europe. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts. Well, I think we beat up this topic enough. Any last thoughts from any five of us before I end this stream?
I just want to say, if it ain't the BAIO, it ain't no we, us, or our.
Right.
I like that. I like that.
And I'm going to say, if you haven't joined this BAIO social network, you ain't black.
Oh God.
I want to reiterate a couple of points. The first point is about power. We need to obtain power, and we believe that obtaining power comes first and foremost by having something that's our own for us and our people here and abroad. And secondly, I want to reiterate the thing about the website. The only reason why we say go to the website first is so that we can identify that you're a black person. That's it. We're not going to ever ask you for money. We're going to encourage you to save your money and come on a trip with us to the continent. That's all.
Chima, any last thoughts?
And also note that like remember when Biden said to all these fake black talking heads, listen, you're going to have to go to Hispanics now. Like you don't have to, you, there's nothing I can do for you. Like yeah yeah, that kind of mindset that kind of mess that these black talking heads often promote. We don't allow that in this group. That's all I have to say.
Facts. Well, all right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, please like, comment, share, subscribe, register to the website. If you believe in black ownership, having a nation state in Liberia on the African continent, having a home, I mean, just register to the website. You know, it's free. Like Mo just said, the only verification is that you black.
And you believe in nationhood.
And you believe in nationhood. That's it. I mean, it's a great social network to be a part of. We have the lounge, you know, every Sunday, 8 p.m. We have
And
different discussions, you know, on
I
Discord.
mean,
Go ahead, Chima.
hell, even if you don't exactly believe in nationhood, if 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 you believe in any kind of black centered economic collectivism, or what's the right word, collectivism, collectivity, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um if you at least believe in that, you'll be welcome in the BAIO.
Look at that. And we even got a witness. Thank you, Ronan. We don't ask for money in the BAIO. That has never come up once in the 5 years I joined. Look, 5 years. Come on now. What more do you want? Baruti said, "How you ever heard of the ADDI? I never.
ADDI?
It's parallel to the group to a BAIO. I never heard of. What is that,
What is
Baruti?
that?
I've heard of it. I think they the people who behind the Wakanda village stuff, correct?
The Wakanda village.
Yeah, the stuff with Dr. Africana.
Oh God, no.
Is that correct, Baruti?
No,
Aren't they the people who like kind of organizing with them?
they're not. No, they're impossible and beyond too.
They're impossible and beyond too.
If they were with us, they'd be with us.
True.
Sound like they be drinking beet juice.
Well,
if they were with us, they'd be with us. I'm and I hate, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm coming off really too belligerent, but I am and proud of it because I've been through a lot of bullshit and I realize that everybody talking black ain't black. If you really down with us, get with us. Because everybody who's with us has had no problem signing up and associating themselves with us. If you haven't done that, then I don't trust you.
And if you don't want to, and if either of these guys don't want to talk to us, they might as well reach out to Revolt TV or something like that.
Yeah, if you don't want to talk to us, you don't want to communicate with us, then that means that there's something about what we're saying that you don't agree with. And what are we saying? What's the overall platform of the BAIO? Land, infrastructure, nationhood.
Nationhood.
That's our platform. That's what we believe in. If you're not with us, that means you are against that. So what's yours? We already said what ours is. Ours is land, infrastructure, nationhood. If you're not down with land, infrastructure, or nationhood, what are you down with? Could you let us know so that we
Right.
can see if you're parallel to? Because why would you be parallel to us? Should you be with us? Like if you were a woman, like what did she say? Well, I'm parallel to you. No, you either with me or you not. I mean, am I out of line? Am I out of
You're not
line
out
for
of
being
line,
belligerent?
man. You're not out of line.
I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of people on the fence, or 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on dry land. Make a decision.
Well, on that note, this was a great live stream. Again, if you are a BAIO member, don't forget every Sunday we have our book club series, Blueprint for Black Power. We also have that in our channel. Right now we're going to tackle chapter 5, I think. Chapter 5 or chapter 6, but
It's chapter 5.
Chapter 5, yeah. It's a great book. Definitely the Bible, in my opinion, and just good stuff and talking about power, organization, just everything. And then, of course, every Sunday at 8, right after that, we have the lounge, kickback, talk about nationhood, but also just other things, because we understand that talks like this is very rare. And with the BAIO as a social network where you have like-minded people, it brings things at ease, because it tells you that you're not alone. So please register to the website, be a part of the social network, and just share. I mean, you don't have to, we're not expecting you to be the president or anything. Just share the content, talk about it amongst your folks, and let's get this thing rolling. But other than that, peace and blessings, everybody. We will see you guys next Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And yeah, beyond or impossible pussy.
Peace,
All right.
y'all.
Peace.
All right. Peace.